And now, please welcome from the 50-yard line, the beginning of our stage party. First, the Californians, class of 2019, the student award recipients of the class of 2019, and our commencement performers of the amazing class of 2019. And now we have our distinguished faculty, who will be led by the Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, Paul Alivisatos, who carries the Berkeley Mace, a symbol of authority. They will be followed by the official stage party. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession and the official stage party. Please welcome members of the Muwekma Ohlone Tribal Council, led by Chairwoman Charlene Nijuma and Vice Chairwoman Monica Ariano, and also Vicky, Fierro, and Lucas in our land blessing ceremony.
Makin mak mawekma, akoy makwarip, mani makishwe. We are Muwekma Ohlone. Welcome to our ancestral homeland. Horshe tuhi, kanak rakat. Hello, my name is Charlene Nishme. I am the chairwoman of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area. Consistent with the University of California's values of community and diversity, the Muwekma Ohlone tribe was asked to offer a land acknowledgement and make visible the university's relationship to Native peoples for the first time in Berkeley's history. And this is why we are speaking here today. Thank you. We would like to begin by recognizing that while we gather at the University of California, Berkeley, we are gathering in the region our people have always called Huchun, which is part of the ancestral and unceded land of our people, the Muwekma Ohlone tribe, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of the Alameda County. This ancient place, Huchun, extends from what we know today as Berkeley Hills to the Bay Shore, from the contemporary West Oakland to El Cerrito. The land on which this university sits was and continues to be a deeply significant place for the Muwekma Ohlone people. This campus extends to areas that held a tupantok, a traditional roundhouse, a place of celebration and ceremony, as well as a shell mound, our traditional burial mound. So as Berkeley is viewed as a special place today, we respectfully acknowledge that this place has been settled for millennia, loved beyond measure, and nurtured by the hands of our ancestors for many generations to ever count. We recognize that every member of Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since the institution's founding in 1868. As we gather on this campus as members of the Berkeley community, it is vitally important that not only we recognize the history of the land on which we stand, but also we recognize that we, the first people of this place, the Muwekma Ohlone people, are alive and flourishing members of the Berkeley and broader Bay Area communities today. Because of the tenacity and strength of our ancestors and our elders, our people have been able to keep our culture close, and we never left our indigenous land. Today, we repair the sustained damages of colonization, and we are focused on keeping our traditional culture strong while we work for a glorious, shining future following in the footsteps of those who came before us. Thank you, and on behalf of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe, we congratulate the class of 2019. Thank you.
Horshe tuhi, kanakrakat Monica Villariano, Wachashkuchush, Muwekma Ohlone tribe, San Francisco Bay Area talk. Good day, my name is Monica Villariano. I am the vice chairwoman for the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area. With me today is our chairwoman, Charlene Nishme, who offered the land acknowledgement. My son, Lucas Tuheste Ariano, holding our tribal flag. We are Muwekma Ohlone. Welcome to our ancestral homeland, where we are born. Menemu nektuhi exuyakmo Muwekma. Makimak Muwekma wulwulam. Akoy makware mani makhiswi. On behalf of our people, Moekma La Gente, we would like to offer an official welcoming to our ancestral homeland, to this ethno-historic tribal territory of the intermarried Huchun Halkin Chochenyo Ohlone speaking tribal group. Today, the University of California, Berkeley and surrounding towns reside in our Huchun ancestral Moekwa Ohlone tribal territory. We welcome everyone in attendance at the UC Berkeley graduation to our Holsheware, our beautiful ancestral homeland. As traditionally done and in honor of our ancestors, we offer an opening prayer in our native Chochenyo language as a blessing for today's graduation and all the graduates. Moekma Isai Chochenyo, the people's prayer in Chochenyo. Exuyakma, ekachokma, tuhi, hoshe roket tamakam kamhaikne nomo, hemeta makin makrote himetka, makin mak adshit tapkamishik hitinomo, hemen heeshmin menehishmit ki mish makin, makish horshe makinan tamakrote himetka, matkietku ruai tamakhami aye, tamakrote himetka hayimak makhinan, kishorshe kinan utashpu makam I makiwe. Thank you very much. Ho.
Thank you. So we're here to celebrate the amazing class of 2019, and let me tell you, a little bit of rain's not gonna stop this celebration. Berkeley students are resilient, they are passionate, and we will get through this rain in glory. It is now my honor to welcome some of the amazing class of 2019. So please welcome Monisha Suresh, Danielle Satin, and Anthony White, who will sing our national anthem. Please rise if able, and please remove your hats.
Oh wait, Danny.
Ready? Oh, say, can you see
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed
at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars
through the perilous fight,
o'er the ramparts we watched
were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, thank you. Just a sample of the amazing talent of the class of 2019. It is now my great honor to introduce our Chancellor. Please join me in welcoming the 11th Chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley, Carol T. Christ.
Thank you, Dean Greenwell, and thank you, Manisha, Danielle, and Anthony for that amazing rendition of the national anthem. Proud parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, relatives, and friends of our graduates, welcome to the University of California at Berkeley. Welcome, too, to the many faculty, staff, alumni, community members, and other honored guests who are joining us today. And welcome especially to those we have gathered this morning to celebrate, the members of the remarkable, the amazing, the marvelous, the extraordinary UC Berkeley graduating class of 2019. And truly those words fit. Among you were students like Puya Amin, an immigrant from Tehran who had trouble adjusting to life in American schools, and yet today is graduating summa cum laude with a triple major. And Thomas Manglona, a budding reporter so passionate about journalism that he's produced a story every week since 6th grade and was just awarded the prestigious Truman Scholarship for Public Service. And Beatriz Hernandez, an actress and writer who created an organization called Colors of Theater to look how artists of color navigate the entertainment industry. And Christine Anigwe, a gifted student of sociology who is writing papers about the bonds that form between college athletes just a week or two before she was chosen as a first-round draft pick in the 2019 WNBA draft. As Berkeley's 11th Chancellor, it's my distinct honor and pleasure to preside over today's ceremony as we send these and so many other brilliant young scholars off into the world. I'm sorry that the weather has not been as accommodating as we might have hoped. California was especially declared drought-free a few months ago, but evidently the rain gods thought it was wise to be extra cautious and give us a few more showers. Still, rain or no rain, this is a day of joy and celebration, of friends and family, of achievements and high hopes, of powerful endings and beautiful new beginnings. Graduates, you are no doubt experiencing relief, elation, wonder, and apprehension. But in addition to all that, I hope you also hold a keen sense of accomplishment. You've completed a demanding course of study at the nation's best public university. Today you join the long line of alumni reaching back 151 years, whose lives are forever intertwined with this great institution. Today, you become one of nearly 500,000 living alumni worldwide who can proudly call themselves UC Berkeley graduates. While today we honor you and your achievements, we can't let this occasion pass without also recognizing the family members and friends whose devotion and support have contributed mightily to your success. Please join me in thanking everyone who has helped you reach one of life's great milestones. For those here who, like me, have been immersed in the seasonal rhythms of higher education for a long time, there's a pleasing familiarity in the customs and traditions of today's ceremony. Seeing you all today in your caps and gowns links you with generations of Berkeley graduates who have come before you, just as the many rituals you've taken up over the last several years from morning coffee dates at Cafe Strada to afternoon study sessions in Morrison Reading Room to sunset hikes up to the Big C. They're all points of connection you share with Cal's students of years past. But for all the similarity that this gives your college experience to that of previous students, your Berkeley is also colored by the particular set of events that took place here and in the world during your time on campus. Events that guided your class discussions, that you and your friends debated till late in the night, that may have shaped the decisions you made with regard to coursework, internships, or even your major. Indeed, your Berkeley, the time that you've been on campus, has been marked by an absolute litany of historic events. Your class saw the rise of the strongest woman candidate for president that the US has ever known, ultimately delivered a stunning defeat in an election that upended American politics. You bore witness to the most pitched political battles in decades over taxes, the economy, Supreme Court nominees, election meddling, trade deals, and a border wall, and even saw the government sputter to a halt during the longest shutdown in our country's history. You spent your days in study at an institution committed to knowledge and truth amidst a climate in which alternative facts became acceptable in public discourse, and post-truth was the Oxford English Dictionary word of the year. You've been at Berkeley at a time when the national conversation has been framed by urgent and probing issues of race, class, justice, and equality. As the Black Lives Matter movement challenged institutional racism in law enforcement, and as the Me Too movement toppled abusive men in positions of power and looked to right historical wrongs. You saw people and nations jump into action to respond to the humanitarian crises in Syria and Venezuela and Yemen, yet also saw disdain for immigrants and refugees take hold here and around the world as fear and hatred of the other became a dominant theme in many countries' national politics. In your time, catastrophic natural disasters, from monsoons in South Asia to a hurricane in Puerto Rico to wildfires up and down the California coast, have motivated national discussions about wealth and power and our responsibility to aid victims and help rebuild their communities, not to mention debates about, I'm sorry to say, the veracity of climate change. A host of man-made disasters, too, including racially and ethnically motivated acts of terror and mass shootings, have heightened tensions between communities, renewed disputes about gun rights, and seen thousands take to the streets in protest. Many of these events and the intense discussion about responsibilities and privileges that come with them have directly touched our campus or had analogs here. And that is why I know your class is ready to take on the challenges facing the world, because you already have. You've embraced opportunities to stand up, to speak out, to advocate, to lean into controversial issues, to participate in public life, to ensure that you leave this place, a world in miniature, better than you found it. It was your classmates in the Black Student Union who were behind the creation of the Fannie Lou Hamer Resource Center, and the ones who helped craft the African American Initiative, which is now working to improve our campus climate for Black students on campus. It was the work of survivors and student advocates among you who in 2016 and 17 helped this university critically examine its policies and procedures for handling cases of sexual assault and harassment and take up the process of improving them. You modeled strength and resolve in support of our undocumented students, even as these students were villainized by the leaders of our country and threatened by anonymous chalkings and posters on campus. You pushed our campus to put sustainability at the fore, making us the largest university to commit to 100% clean energy and winning us an award for the coolest UC campus. Your advocacy in Sacramento helped legislators better understand the profound importance of higher education in creating a more just society. Your work through Bridges Retention and Recruitment Centers helped bring in and bring up students from backgrounds historically underrepresented on college campuses. Your organizing helped create the Berkeley Basic Needs Center, a hub of resources for students with food, housing, and financial insecurity. You helped us learn how we might reconcile a commitment to community alongside a belief in the university's role as a public forum, open even to viewpoints we might find abhorrent. And you joined us in efforts last year to use dialogue, not violence, to bridge the partisan divide. Now you enter the world at large, and it's rife with even more intractable problems, problems that are pervasive, that have many dimensions, that span national borders, that don't care about partisan lines. Problems like the need for teachers in under-resourced public school districts, one that today's commencement speaker, Wendy Kopp, took on just a year out of college. I hope that you will not retreat from these challenges. Even when things seem hopeless or pointless, you must not abandon civic life and a commitment to the public good. Stay aware, stay woke even, engaged with the world and its goings-on. Take action, organize, volunteer, advocate, campaign, or enter public service yourselves. Dissent, protest when it is needed. It will take a firm commitment to civic life to bring grace, justice, and beauty to this world. Let me close by sharing just a few lines from a speech that Robert Kennedy gave at the Greek Theater here back in 1966. He said, "All of us have the right to dissipate our energies and talents in any way that we wish. But those who are serious about the future have the obligation to direct their energies and their talents toward concrete objectives consistent with the ideals that they profess. You are the most privileged citizens of a privileged nation, for you have been given the opportunity to study and learn here. You can use your enormous privilege and opportunity to seek purely private gain. But history will judge you, and as years pass, ultimately, you will judge yourself on the ways in which you have used your gifts. In your hands, not with presidents or other leaders, is the future of your world and the best fulfillment of the qualities of your own spirit. Thank you. May the education you have received here serve not just your lives, but your society as well. May your years ahead be richly rewarding and fulfilling, and may you enjoy much happiness. Though I will not say that this is your world to save, it is yours to shape alongside many others in this long but persistent march toward progress. Congratulations, good luck, and go Bears! Thank you. Each year, we honor our finest teachers by awarding them the Distinguished Teaching Award through a very rigorous competition. The recipients of this award are truly great and inspired teachers. It's my pleasure to announce to you this year's Distinguished Teaching Award recipients. One of those faculty members is with us. Professor Shagan, will you please stand? Ethan Shagan is a professor of history with a focus in early modern Europe and Britain. Professor Shagan cultivates a love of learning while fostering an environment where his students learn to interpret history through many lenses. I'd also like to recognize the faculty members who received the award this year who are unable to join us this morning. Robert Littlejohn, Professor Emeritus of Physics, Andrea Roth, Professor of Law, and Stephen Raphael, Professor and James D. Marver Chair in Public Policy. Please join me in recognizing these outstanding teachers. And now I'd like to introduce the 2019 winner of the Peter E. Haas Public Service Award, which recognizes a Berkeley alumnus or alumna who has made significant voluntary contributions to the betterment of society. Here with us today is David Ley, who graduated with a degree in business administration in 1974. He actually told me it was 1972, but that he waited to get his degree because he didn't want Ronald Reagan's name on his diploma. Giving back to the community has always been important to David. While in high school, he mentored students in San Francisco's Chinatown, and he co-founded the Chung Nai dance troupe. While a student at UC Berkeley, David served on his first board as a volunteer with Chinatown North Beach Family Planning. After graduating, he was a social worker with Chinatown's YMCA and Richmond's Model Cities program, where he worked with at-risk youth. David ultimately became a successful entrepreneur and continued to volunteer countless hours with local not-for-profits. For over 40 years, he has selflessly dedicated himself to bringing together generations of Chinese American communities through art, culture, and philanthropy. His leadership has resulted in greater awareness of the important role this community has played in our state's history, and this commitment to equity and inclusion has inspired appreciation of our region's diverse communities. David is especially committed to increasing national and international awareness of the Chinese American experience in the United States. He spent much of his recent time working with the California Historical Society, the Chinese Historical Society of America, and our own Bancroft Library, piecing together historical documents and personal histories of early Chinese families. David Ley leads by example, something that Peter E. Haas would recognize and applaud. And now, please direct your attention to the video boards.
My name is David Ley. Welcome to Chinatown. I was born in Taiwan in 1949 when China turned communist, so my family had to leave. I immigrated to America in 1956. There was overt discrimination. Most of the Chinese had to spend their time in Chinatown, and all our activities center around Chinatown. Our social lives were here. And I was drawn into Chinese history and culture because of my involvement with dance. I want to know how these dances get started, where did they come from? And doing this research myself, I found out a lot more about myself. Like most Chinese, I'm a blend of many different philosophy, religion. Most of them speak about the same thing, and is to be in community, to serve. I think partially you're born into a family, you keep some of the traditions. So you carry on some of the things your ancestor did. What the Chinese value is very important. They value reciprocity, discipline, value education, respect for seniors. These values help me to succeed in life. And so I want to pass it to my descendants. The contribution that the Chinese provided for America is much more than building a railroad, civil rights, immigrant rights. The concept of equal protection under the law, the right to a public education, although you're not a citizen, the concept of political asylum, all these are concepts that the Chinese brought about, even what makes you an American. Many of things that the Chinese were involved with in building the West is not recorded, it's not documented. So I'm trying to get all the institutions down here to donate their paper, their history, to be part of the history of the West and the contribution that this community made. Unless these are documented and in libraries like the Bancroft, where mainstream researchers will go for the information, the Chinese will always be left out, will always be the others. So for me personally, this is very important. I hope I make an impact on people's lives for the better, more positive, and I do see the impact of things getting better in this community. Sometimes it comes from different places. You don't know you're making impact until years later. A kid will come back and say, oh, I saw you perform at one of the schools when I was young. That's why I learned to dance. So sometimes you don't know what impact you've made until years later. But it's a wonderful feeling that you are changing lives, hopefully for the better. There you go, here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please join me in welcoming David Ley.
Thank you. Chancellor Chris, distinguished faculties, parents, graduates, and guests. And for those out-of-town guests, welcome to sunny California. But despite of the weather, the enthusiasm in the stadium is better than at a Warriors game. Go Warriors, beat Stanford. The late 1960s through the early 1970s was a period of activism and protest here at Cal. I graduated during this time. Many of my classmates, myself included, did not attend our graduation ceremonies as another form of protest. I am so grateful for this second chance to don cap and gown and share this moment of joy and accomplishment with all of you graduates, friends, and families. I must first thank Mrs. Peter Yi Haas for creating this award, and thanks all the people who stuck out their necks to nominate me and to vouch for me for this award. They must not have known about my poor grades and my poor attendance record when I was a student here. So I stand before you feeling undeserving, humbled, and unprepared to accept this award, as many of you might be feeling about life after graduation. My advice, be in service to others, be involved, be idealistic. I was born Chinese, so I naturally looked to Confucius for my values. One of the things Confucius preached that has been the key to my success is that leadership is not being served, but service to others. This is the philosophy I learned in my community involvement, but has also been good business. My clients knew I was truly looking out for them, and because of this, they were willing to pay me a premium for my services. Being in service to others is good leadership and good business. I immigrated with my parents to this country in 1956 when the immigration quota for Chinese was just 105 a year. Just 105 Chinese a year can immigrate to America until the immigration reform of 1965. This was beating lottery odds. Thus, I feel so lucky to be an American. America, like other countries, operated with government and with corporations. However, America is very unique with its preponderance of nonprofits. Over 1.5 million nonprofits whose mission is do the best in their endeavors without the need for making a profit. As an American, no matter what your passion, no matter what you care about, there's a nonprofit you can join, volunteer, or work for. And if there isn't one, you can start one. As your commencement speaker, Wendy Cobb did at about your age when she founded Teach for America. Working with nonprofits, I've learned so much and met so many wonderful people. Even met Linda, my lovely young wife of 45 years. And lastly, stay idealistic. The idealism formulated in me during my Berkeley years sustained me all these years. During difficult times, when accepting reality was the easy way out, my idealism pointed the way and made sure I did not give up and lose my way. To the class of 2019, be in service to others, be involved, and be idealistic. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to acknowledge awards to some of our very many outstanding graduates. Please rise when I call your name. The Jake Gimbel Prize is awarded to Colin Morikawa of men's golf. The Anna Espenshad Prize goes to Tony Ann Williams of women's gymnastics. The highest honor the university can give to students is the University Medal. The following students are the University Medal finalists. Please come forward for your certificates. Samantha, the University Medal finalists are Samantha Howe. Congratulations. Yvonne Howe. Hi, or Harry Mainlu. Congratulations. And Tynan Perez. Let's give them all a warm round of applause. It now gives me great pleasure to present the University Medal to the most distinguished graduating senior on the Berkeley campus, Tyler Chen. Tyler Chen is a graduating senior studying materials science and bioengineering with a certificate in entrepreneurship and technology. Tyler hopes to continue to develop new technologies to tackle disease and disability. He has designed microfluidic devices for single-cell genomics at UC Berkeley's Streets Lab and developed genomic tools at iGenomeX and the Scripps Research Institute in San Diego. Tyler also led Berkeley Hyperloop to design and built one of the first prototype vehicles for the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod competition. In his free time, he enjoys practicing martial arts, tricking, telling super lame jokes, and doing the unexpected. In the fall, he'll be starting a PhD in bioengineering at Stanford as a Knight Hennessy Scholar, where he hopes to build foundational neurotechnologies to enable people with ALS and similar disabilities to communicate using their minds. Tyler dreams of continuing this path to one day build neural interfaces that empower human connection and empathy. Tyler Chen, it is my honor to present you the University Medal. Congratulations. You can put it down, yeah. I now invite Tyler to share a few words with us.
What's up, guys? Hey, everyone. Wow, this is crazy. I didn't realize the real perk of the medal is that I get to stay under this tent. Sorry. But, okay. So real quick, before I start, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the parents, families, and everyone who's out there for us today. We wouldn't be here without you, so thank you. I guess maybe I shouldn't clap in front of the mic. Sorry, sound guys. Okay, here we go. My friends, teammates, classmates, fellow graduates, we made it. Congratulations. You all know it hasn't been easy. In our time at Berkeley, we've pushed ourselves to the breaking point, trying to measure up to these lofty expectations the academic world has of us. And this need to be successful is kind of ingrained in Berkeley's culture. You know, we have all these myths and legends about it. For the non-Berkeley students, everyone at Berkeley hears from day one about these cursed seals, these university emblems that are around Memorial Glade. And the legend goes, you should never, ever step on those gold seals. Why? Because stepping on the seal means you get cursed with bad grades. Stepping on the seal means you lower your GPA. Stepping on the seal means you give up on Berkeley's high academic standards. So, you know, every day we see these groups of students walking up Memorial Glade, and they all split to go around the seals. This curse is that powerful. So just the other day, I was sitting there on the Glade, surrounded by the cursed Berkeley seals, and I had a rare moment where I could stop and think. So I'd like to take you there and out of the rain. The sun's beating down on Memorial Glade in the heart of campus, which graduates, you all know, is a special kind of place. Because at Berkeley, they've taught us to do big things, but as I sit there on the Glade, it's the little things that catch my attention. There's a guy using his laptop as a pillow. There's a llama. I hear snippets of conversation, something about memes and edgy teens. I look to my right, I look to my left, and I see beside me some of the best friends I have ever had. Perhaps, graduates, if you look at who's sitting next to you right now, you can say the same thing. As I sit there, I know I'm gonna miss this place, but I pick up my bag and walk past Doe Library, up that asphalt path towards real life. I'm sure you can picture it. Library's on the right, Glade's on the left, and there's this big hill up ahead. So I'm walking, and I hear this noise in front of me, and it gets louder, and it gets louder. And this is a true story. I glance up, and there's this huge dude on a tiny bike, and he's barreling down the hill right at me. First of all, raise your hand if that was you. Okay, anyway, this guy's coming right at me, and he doesn't see me. I'm just terrified. I'm just standing there. And he's definitely gonna hit me, so I know I have to dodge. So I go to sidestep, and I look down at where my foot's about to land, and I see it. It's the cursed Berkeley seal. And now I'm twice as scared, because the only way to avoid getting hit is to get cursed. And I definitely don't want to get hit, so I just dodge and just stand there on the seal. And I can feel the curse hitting me. But as the guy goes past me, I notice this guy's actually singing. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. What a wonderful kind of day. And now I'm confused. I just almost got run over, and then I got cursed. This day is not wonderful. But in that moment, listening to that huge dude sing, I thought to myself, maybe this curse isn't so bad. Maybe now's the time. Maybe graduating from the academic ruler is the only way to find something that matters more. And that's the true secret of the Berkeley curse, realizing that there comes a time when it's okay to step on the seal, to graduate and move on, to stop living our lives by other people's standards and let go of the rulers others use to measure our worth. Because only then can we choose to live by our own measure of success. It's an exciting and scary world out there, and there are a lot of unsolved problems. You well know. At Berkeley, they've taught us that the equations to solve climate change are not online, that the solutions to inequality, war, and poverty are not handed out in discussion section. And most importantly, we've learned that the answers other people used to solve last year's problems may not be the right ones in today's world. But that's okay. Because Berkeley also taught us that life will throw problems at us. And one day after graduating, we may wake up to find a huge dude on a tiny bike headed straight for us. As the curse-bearing graduates of this fine university, we'll know what to do. We'll step on the seal. We'll chart our own path, and we'll lend an ear to listen carefully for what the guy on the bike is singing quietly to himself. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Having spent the past few years with you all, I know our future will be just that, wonderful. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Tyler, for those words of wisdom. It is now my honor to welcome Jesse Gill and Mackenzie Monroe, members of the great class of 2019 Gift Committee, to the podium with a special presentation to the university.
Good morning, faculty, friends, family, and members of the graduating class of 2019. We are proud to be here as the student representatives of this year's senior gift campaign. First and foremost, congratulations to the class of 2019. We would like to thank you for your donations. They are a testament to your commitment to maintaining Cal's excellence for future Golden Bears. The senior class gift has been a long-standing tradition that started with the class of 1874, whose gift was $48.10 towards textbooks. In recent years, the campaign has shifted to providing more than just benches and fountains. We now sponsor a vast array of student resources, from night safety programs to libraries, and student groups to scholarships, in order to maintain Cal's excellence for current and future students. To honor our senior class gift, a plaque will be installed outside of Donnell Plaza and will remain a symbol of the senior class's dedication to helping future Cal students, just as past alumni have done for us.
We, along with the rest of Cal Student Philanthropy, have been honored to lead the 2019 campaign, and we are happy to announce that this year, 1,894 seniors were inspired to leave their mark on Cal by making a contribution to the senior class gift. Thank you to all the seniors who gave back. We gave back because seniors before us made our Cal experience possible. And we will continue to do so that UC Berkeley can remain one of the top public institutions in the world. And now, without further ado, we would like to present Chancellor Christ with the class of 2019 senior gift of $73,541. Thank you, and go Bears.
A very big thank you to the Senior Gift Committee and to all members of the class of 2019. It's a great pleasure to receive this gift on behalf of the university. Your gift will serve to remind us and future generations of your spirit and generosity. Thank you.
Okay. Hello again. My name is Jesse Gill. I am the president of the Senior Class Council, which has been hosting events to unite the graduating class since 1870. Today, we are here to celebrate our growth and accomplishments. I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Wendy Kopp, CEO and co-founder of Teach for All and founder of Teach for America. As an undergraduate at Princeton, Wendy dreamed of creating a way for her peers to apply their talents towards solving the country's biggest problems. She launched Teach for America to enlist outstanding graduates from universities across the country to teach underserved communities. That magnificent idea is now a revolutionary organization, a leader in the movement for educational equity and excellence. Close to 7,000 people of all academic disciplines are currently immersed in two-year commitments in 51 regions across the United States. Overall, 60,000 people have joined Teach for America since its founding, and nearly 1,000 of those dedicated members are graduates of UC Berkeley. In the last 10 years, Wendy has shifted her attention beyond our borders. Inspired by Teach for America, social entrepreneurs from different parts of the world expressed interest in adapting the program to address educational inequality in their own homes. While the challenges facing children may differ from country to country, the root causes and symptoms of inequity are similar. In 2007, Wendy co-founded Teach for All, which today is a global network of independent organizations in 50 countries, all working to ensure that children everywhere have the education and support they need to fulfill their potential. In fact, the partner organizations in Pakistan and Brazil were both founded by Berkeley alumni. We're honored to have such an inspiring woman here today to share her experiences and wisdom. Wendy Kopp, the graduating class of 2019, welcomes you to the podium.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, President Napolitano and the Board of Regents, Chancellor Christ, deans and faculty, distinguished guests, family, friends, and loved ones, and most especially, the University of California, Berkeley, class of 2019. I am so sorry about the rain, but I'm so honored to celebrate this day with you. This class has extraordinary strengths and perspective. More than 1 in 5 of you are the first in your families to earn a college degree. And 90 dreamers are picking up your degrees today. Each of you sitting here in cap and gown has worked so hard to get here. Let's hear it again for the class of 2019. To the graduates' families and friends, as a mother of 4 who have not yet made it across this finish line, I am in awe. Let's hear it for them. And to the 53 graduates who are joining Teach for America, thank you. Your campus has sent more students to Teach for America than nearly any other school in the nation. I am inspired by what Berkeley stands for and by your generation. Jojo Lam, a Berkeley alumna who is helping build Teach for Cambodia, shared with me how much this institution influenced her. She said, when you're surrounded by people who care, it makes you want to care. Worldwide, Berkeley is known for student activism. As we heard from Chancellor Christ, in your time here, You have acted against racism, sexism, sexual assault, basic needs insecurity, income inequality, anti-immigration policies, climate crises, suppression of free speech, and many other systemic injustices. And even beyond this campus, your generation's commitment to political and civic engagement surpasses that of any that have come before. That's not just an impression. A survey of US college students showed that your class had the highest levels of interest in political and community engagement in 50 years. We need your ongoing engagement. We need each of you to get into the arena of addressing the world's greatest injustices and societal threats as early as possible. After spending my senior year in college developing the idea for Teach for America, I set out to make it happen when I graduated 30 years ago. The journey to realize its potential, first at Teach for America and now across Teach for All, a global network of similar organizations in 50 countries and counting, has been challenging, exhausting, messy. But there is not 1 year I would trade for a different path. I feel extraordinarily privileged to have found my way to this work early enough to have had the chance to understand the complexity of the issues and to find my way to real solutions. Along the way, I've been able to work with and become friends with the most amazingly committed people. I even met my husband in this work and had those 4 incredible kids I mentioned earlier. I've learned so much, including from the more than 1,000 Berkeley grads who have joined Teach for America over the last 29 years and who are now teachers, principals, civil rights and immigration attorneys, elected leaders, and social entrepreneurs, tackling inequity from all levels and many sides. Most of you are heading into the working world where activism may not be part of your day-to-day. Many of you are heading to jobs in marketing, consulting, finance, law, technology. These are the right choices for you now, given the many pressures and the passions that led you to them. But you may find yourself encouraged to back off your activism. I urge you to continue with it and to stay conscious that many of the institutions you're joining are built on and supporting the status quo, politically, socially, and economically. I think we all recognize that there are major problems with the status quo. We face many issues that seem intractable. Climate change, historic levels of inequality, multiplying global conflicts. And the way we've been addressing them isn't working. We tackle one piece and create new problems, or we see only incremental progress, or we are simply immobilized in a vitriolic and divided place. I'm betting on you to break us through. I'm betting on you to learn from previous generations, to bring your energy and ideas, and as the most diverse generation of college graduates yet, to bring your experiences, your family histories, your community backgrounds to the table. I'm betting on you to make meaningful progress in the struggle for justice, freedom, and a sustainable future. This is why I want to share with you the most salient lesson from my last 30 years, which is about the kind of leadership we need to reach our aspirations. I've learned that we need collective leadership. Our culture is rooted in the ideal of the individual leader. We hear the word leadership and we imagine heroic superstars. We valorize the entrepreneurs, particularly here so close to Silicon Valley. We want to be our own bosses, to venture out on our own. This archetype deeply defines our vision of success in this country. But the more I see, the more I realize that individual leadership alone will not get us where we're trying to go. When I started pursuing the idea of Teach for America as a 21-year-old, I believed individual leadership was everything. I'd internalized, no doubt because of my experiences growing up in our Western culture, that if I wanted to accomplish something, I just needed to work harder and think harder. The experience of getting Teach for America off the ground and sustaining it only reinforced that mental model. Whether we lived or died seemed to me to rest on how much time I spent raising funds, on how good my plans were. And my whole theory of change for addressing the extreme and entrenched inequities facing children was to cultivate a bunch of individual leaders, to recruit and develop individuals with leadership potential, to help them succeed as teachers so that they had a real impact on kids and gain a deep understanding of the problem and its solvability, and then to accelerate their individual paths as school system leaders, innovators, advocates, and political leaders who would pursue systemic change. But over time, what I've seen in communities here and around the world has led me to rethink my belief in individual leadership alone. I've been thinking about the need for collective leadership, a kind of leadership where individuals work together in a new way. Collective leadership asks diverse groups to maximize their differences rather than be immobilized by them. It encourages us to come together, to speak, to listen, reflect, understand the whole picture, develop shared vision for the future, and generate new solutions. Collective leadership recognizes that our power is so much stronger than my power. Over the past few years, I've been fortunate to spend time with Ansei Puaiti, Teach for Haiti in Creole. At its outset, its incredible CEO, Nadine Paul Deroli, spent more than 3 years in the rural communities where her team was planning to work, building relationships and considering one question. As a people, when are we at our best in Haiti? Stemming from that question came conversations about education and about what the community wanted to be true for its young people. Nadine listened to reflections that repeatedly focused on respect for local culture, customs, and community. Collective leadership gathers entire communities to exert leadership. The people in these Haitian communities came together, listened to each other, and created a vision for what would be true for their kids by the time they're young adults. That they will have the education necessary to provide for their families, be proud and value their own heritage, and be active citizens and leaders committed to social justice for all. Almost 5 years into this work, this collective leadership has created transformational changes. To share just one example, although it's technically outlawed, Haitian schools for decades have utilized corporal punishment as the primary discipline system. This practice is embedded in the country's colonial past, passed down from generation to generation as it has been in many parts of our country and in the world. And yet, in the 5 years since Ansei Puaiti launched, whole schools have shed that entrenched approach and created positive discipline systems. This is deep change, change that laws could not affect. How did it finally happen? It happened because diverse people came together, listened to each other, developed a vision, and realized that they would never get where they were trying to go using that old system. They chose to become more invested in the new vision than in the old ways. In our country, we too often fail to create the space necessary to bring people from different perspectives together to develop new paths forward. Take what's happening here in Berkeley's backyard in Oakland's public school system. Thanks to so many committed individuals across the system, there are many things to be hopeful about. In the past 10 years alone, graduation rates have risen from 55% to 73%. Having first visited there 28 years ago, I can tell you that today, many more of Oakland's children are on a path to college and to meaningful careers. Yet, there is still so much trauma in the system. Maybe some of you followed the news of Oakland's recent teacher strike, protesting untenable teacher salaries that are not enough to let teachers live sustainably here in the Bay Area. The successful strike and hard-fought resolution resulted in an increase in teacher pay of 11% over 4 years. That is not nearly enough to keep up with rising housing and living costs in this area, and many are concerned that that deal will bankrupt the district. Why can't we figure out how to enable teachers to live sustainably and take care of themselves and our children? What I know for sure is that there are no easy answers, and there is no path to progress without dialogue and generative problem solving. We need all the actors, students, parents, teachers, advocates, employers, philanthropists, and government leaders to talk and to listen. We need them to consider together the whole picture, not only teacher pay, but housing costs, pension costs, our willingness to pay taxes in support of public education, and more. And yet, this kind of discussion seems utterly impossible. It's impossible because there is deep anger in the community, particularly at the philanthropists who've been investing in the city and at any advocates or organizations that accept their support, because it's corporate leaders who have had a loud voice, even when they've played a role in perpetuating the income inequality at the root of Oakland's issues. With so much anger and fear, there seems no way for people to come together to get to know each other's perspectives and develop new solutions. So we're stuck. And Oakland is just one example of dozens and dozens across this country where this same story plays out. To create different outcomes, we need to develop different capabilities than most of us have learned. We must learn to build authentic relationships across lines of difference, to see strengths in those from different walks of life and different ideological perspectives, to listen and learn from each other. We must develop the muscle to think beyond our individual pursuits and hold the space necessary to bring diverse people together. And we must be literate with trauma, our own, others, and the world, so that we can have generative discussions even when others hurt us. Class of 2019, I want to challenge you to lead us forward differently, to make it your life's work to create dialogue, to make it your job to replace judgment with curiosity, to co-construct a vision of the future that works for all, not for some. You don't need to wait to find yourself in a position of influence. We need you now. Seek out a conversation with someone who has a radically different point of view and listen generously. Be curious and willing to be surprised. Understand that just like you, they have hopes and fears, things they value, and things that make them feel vulnerable. Make time to do the inner work to understand yourselves, know your deepest values, and take time for your own healing, because as we ground ourselves, we're able to be more generous with others and more generative in our public and collective spaces. Always look around the table and invite in voices that are not heard. And if you're the one who can offer an unheard perspective, something that can move our shared humanity forward, have the courage to speak up even when it feels difficult. Real progress requires moments of tension, And if we approach those moments with generosity and curiosity rather than resistance and blame, we can find entirely new ways forward. This may be slow in the beginning, but I've come to realize that many diverse people trusting each other and working together is the only path to achieving a just, peaceful, sustainable, inclusive world. I'm placing my hopes in you. With every generation, humanity goes through an evolution, and we're going through one now. Your generation brings new wisdom, consciousness, and a yearning for justice. We need your imagination and collective spirit. I'm so excited to learn from you as you live into your potential as a generation of change makers and create the world we long for. Thank you, class of 2019, and good luck.
Thank you, Wendy, for your inspirational words. It is now my honor to welcome Tiffany Moore, one of the amazing members of the class of 2019, as she shares her talents with you in a performance of Climb Every Mountain. Thank you so much, Tiffany. And now, class of 2019, what you've been waiting for, I ask that all candidates for the degrees please rise if able for the conferring of the degrees by Chancellor Carol T. Christ. Please be aware that the cannon will sound after the Chancellor's remarks.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University of California, I grant you the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, graduates! You may now move your tassels from the right to the left side. Please remain standing as the members of Decadence lead us in Hail to California, the university's alma mater.
One.
Hail to California, alma mater dear. Sing the joyful chorus, sounded far and near. Rally round her banner, we will never fail. California, alma mater. Hail, 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 hail to California, green in whom we're blessed, spreading light and goodness over all the West. Fighting 'neath her standard, we shall sure prevail. California, alma mater. Hail, hail, hail. Go Bears!
It may be raining, but it's raining Cal graduates today! Thank you for attending the class of 2019 commencement ceremony. Congratulations to the class of 2019 graduates and your families. Graduates, please meet your family members at the Campanile. We wish you all a pleasant and safe afternoon. Again, congratulations, and forever, go Bears!